Hello everybody, my name is Xuul and welcome to the Skyrim Mod Showcase. In today's episode, we are going to be looking at Campfire, Complete Camping System by Chesko. For those of you who don't know, Chesko is the creator of Frostfall, a mod that I have raved over in the past, and today we're going to be looking at his new mod, Campfire. Currently the two are not compatible, but when Frostfall 3.0 comes out, Campfire is what's going to be used as the basis for it. And because of that, we're going to check it out today. This mod comes with an MCM, although it does not need SkyUI or SKSE. I would highly recommend using both of them. We're going to take a look at this and then look at the features of the mod. So first off, you get your basic controls here. These allow you to set hotkeys to use the 3 basic skills. You can also change whether you're allowed to camp in certain places and whether you have to manually light campfires using flame spells. And then finally there's the player tent behavior. You can decide whether or not you want to remove all your clothing, weapons, whatever when you go in the tent. Under the advanced options is just some stuff here. I am not going to touch this. And then finally there's a troubleshooting wizard and a guide to the mod if you are curious as to how it works. The mod comes with 3 basic survival skills: build campfire, create item, and gather resources. Each of these is a different ability that you can use with a shout, or you can bind them to a hotkey. Let's take a look at the first one here, gather resources. When you do this, you are given 3 or so options. If you don't have an axe, you're not going to be able to chop dead wood, and you'll only be able to gather branches and stones. But if you do have an axe, you can go ahead and chop dead wood and actually go ahead and get yourself an actual axe. This will take 1 hour. It's something to keep in mind if you're using an immersive needs mod, although this mod, unlike Frostfall, doesn't have the hypothermia mechanics, so you don't need to worry about freezing. Once you've gathered all of your items, you can go ahead and use the create item skill here to create a bunch of different things. You can make a bow and some arrows for hunting and finding food, a hatchet which can be used to harvest deadwood, a walking stick to increase your stamina as you wander around, fur armor, travel cloaks. These are of course some nice little cloaks you can make. We'll make one right here. And you can also make things like dense stones, cleaned pelts, enchanting supplies which allow you to enchant while on the go, and a tanning rack that you can place around, as well as a few other key little things. They're all pretty cool. The rest of the recipes added by this mod are available at the tanning rack, and I will show you those later. Alright, so all campfires are made with the build campfire tool. It will give you a very large blue ghost campfire for you to select the location of. For example, we're going to place our campfire right here. And when we place it, this is where the main difference between this mod and Frostfall come to fruition. The first thing you'll notice is there's no fire in here, actually. There's just the use option, and when we use it, it's actually going to give us the option in this menu here. In this menu, you can create kindling from either firewood or deadwood, and tinder, which can be created with a variety of things, including straw, linen, beehives, and dwarven oil. You need to combine these 2 ingredients to actually light the fire, the first of which is the fragile campfire right here. So we're going to go ahead and light the fragile campfire. As you can see, this campfire is rather small and kind of weak looking. It's not going to last very long either. However, these fires can be improved upon in this menu here. As you can see, we can create the flickering campfire. This will burn for 3 hours and can be used for cooking. So let's go ahead and make the upgrade there. Now that that's been done, as we can see, the food menu has opened up, and this will allow us to craft a variety of food. You'll notice there's also still options here to upgrade the fire even further. It will create a fire that'll last 6 hours, emit a strong heat, and can be used for cooking, as well as it's uplifting. Now I'll show you just what that means after we craft a little bit more kindling and a little bit more tinder. I really like the way that this works, in that there's different combinations to make the fire, and the fires are also upgradable. So let's upgrade to the crackling campfire. The fire leaves you feeling uplifted is the effect you get from this, and that is actually a buff you get. All skills improve 5% faster for 6 hours. This kind of incentivizes you to build the bigger campfires that require a lot more resources, and kind of give you a benefit from setting up and camping for the night. After all, you're never going to have a campfire that makes it through the night unless it can last at least 6 hours. At any time, you can come and sit by your campfire. It's really good kind of for like immersion and RP purposes. And you can also destroy it, or you can continue to use it and either cook or upgrade with it. So let's go ahead and upgrade the fire to the next level, which is the Roaring Campfire. This gives you the Inspiring buff and is the highest level the campfire can be. But this mod doesn't just add campfires, it also adds things like tents and other such things. So let's take a look at those next. So after you've crafted the leather tent, or whatever tent you would like, you will get the ghost of the building. And then you can find a spot to set up. For example, we're just going to go right over here, maybe, right there. And you can place it down. You can click on your tent and do a variety of things. First off, you can use a lantern, assuming you have a lantern, to light it up. This is mostly useful at night. Obviously, we're doing this in the day so that the best visibility is available for you. You can come in here and sit or just lie down. So sitting, basically your character will take off pieces of their armor depending on your settings in the MCM and just kind of sit down and relax. I really like this, especially the fact that the backpack and the weapon there have been actually put off to the side, and they will be re-equipped when I stand up. I guess another thing that I forgot to note is while you're in the lying down position in your bedroll, or if you're sitting, you can actually adjust the camera and click on the bedroll again, and then you can either go to sleep or you can change the view to make the tent not see-through if you're not interested in that, or you can have the way with the see-through walls. And also this is how you get to sleep. You can't just directly go to sleep, so we can just go ahead and do that, and it'll open up the sleep menu. Alright, so as you can see, I've added a couple of things to my campsite, the first of which is this large fur tent. We will look at that at the end. And I have added a portable tanning rack, so I can show you some of the cool recipes added in this mod. So you can pick this up at any time. It's placed the same way as the campfires. And basically, with this, you can go ahead and look at some of the recipes. So, right off the bat, we can see you can craft different kinds of tents. You can craft fur tents or leather tents. So we're just going to craft a small fur tent here. And once you've done that, some of them actually have the option to create additional bedrolls. And all you need for these is just a bedroll or whatever, and you can go ahead and, just add additional places for some of your followers to sleep. You can create just the one with the one bedroll. You can take the bedroll away. So let's just do that. You can also create cleaned pelts, which are used for creating the fur bedrolls, and then you can just do a lot of the normal things you can do at this, as well as crafting the different backpacks, including the brown, black, and white backpacks. These backpacks, I believe you can still add the amulets to, so if you have like an amulet of Talos or whatever, you can add it to your backpack, and you can get some extra stats and stuff for them, which is pretty cool. Once you have a tent, again, it's just the same sort of thing. After you craft it, you can just go ahead and place it down. This is the fur tent or whatever with the 2, so we'll just place that right here. And again, it will take a few moments, and then it will work. So there we go, that's kind of the difference between those. And again, there's one for me and one for my companion. This large tent here is the biggest one you can make with 4 bedrolls, 3 of which are for companions and 1 of which is for you. It functions exactly the same way as this tent does, so there's nothing really to worry about there. And for the most part, that is pretty much the mod. This is just a camping mod. It pairs really well with an immersive needs mod. For example, a mod where you're going to need to sleep and eat and hunt and all that kind of stuff. Realistic needs and diseases comes to mind with this. And it is also intended to pair up with Chesko's 2 not yet released mods, which are Frostfall 3.0 and Last Seed, which I believe is his immersive needs mod. Not 100% sure on that, but I believe it is, and I am looking forward to those mods. I'll certainly cover them when they come out. That's pretty much it. As far as installation, this mod is a basic installation, so I'm not going to need to cover it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Xuul, and as always, please consider subscribing and have an excellent day.